We can pop out this chat.
All right, guys. Welcome to Artcasters. I do not, off the top of my head, remember the episode. Oh, there it is. 498. 498. That's two away from 500. Okay. That's half a thousand. Half a thousand. That's a quarter 2,000. I don't know. It's significant. Okay, 500 episodes. Right. We've been bringing this to you. So we have a special guest today. I'm really excited to kind of bring him on. And it's a returning guest. He's launched a couple new websites, and I think it'll be fun to kind of talk shop about that. Talk shop about San Diego Comic-Con. Talk shop about some other stuff. But before we get into that, as usual, we're kind of getting the rounds and let everybody know where to find us. You're on my channel, so if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications when we go live, and all that fun, joyful stuff. And then also check out Jacob's apartment and two stories, my two previous graphic novels that are kind of slice of life adventures in indie comics. Thomas says I'm echoing. So let me see what's going on with that. Let's see here. Oh, okay, I see. So I have to mute one. Am I still echoing? I had my live mic going, my mic auxiliary. So hopefully that's gone. Is the echo still occurring? Is it still occurring, Keeman? Because you said yes, it's echoing. Let me see here. I hope it's not echoing from somebody's from someone else's thing. Let's see. Oh, Chris, you don't have audio on, do you?
Not for YouTube. Let me see. Is my mic too close?
Or maybe I was just curious if maybe it's picking up the audio. Are you wearing headphones?
No. Maybe I should switch to headphones.
Okay, that might be what's going on. Okay. Thomas said it's gone. Okay,
right.
Sweet. No. Never mind. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. I was worried. I'm an old crazy.
Jim wants the echo back.
Yeah, bring the echo back. Well, hey, you know what? There is a bunny below me, and so we could have echo in the bunny. Man, I'm sorry, old dad joke. All right, so we've got I forgot to mention the last thing before I kind of have Scott plug his stuff. The most important thing, Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, is up for pre-order on bookstores everywhere. Yay. You should pre-order it, and pre-order it in hard copy because it's going to be a beautifully offset print. Actually bound, like not perfect binding, but like that nice, beautiful stitching of signatures. Legit, beautifully published book by Turner Publishing. So check out Not Death But Love. Pre-order it today. I'm going to be finishing the last 10 pages this weekend, and that'll fulfill my last 4 years of work. So if you appreciate, appreciate cartoonists, we're spending 4 years on a project and not just typing prompts into AI. You want to support handmade work
by a human being.
By a human being. Definitely check that out. It's cool. It's historical fiction. It's full of mystery and suspense. It's going to tie in. That book, more than anything, ties into a ton of stuff that Chris does aesthetically as well. I
love this so much.
Because there's like seance-y Victorian era stuff, and that's kind of one of Chris's specialties as an artist.
One of my jams.
And then let's pass it on to our fellow in the EPMD shirt, which is pretty appropriate to what you're currently working on. Scott, you want to mention what you're currently working on and where people can support, wax packs, get some reading materials, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So currently I have not one, but 2 YouTube channels. My old YouTube channel is now switched to me going back to talking about comics. And so far people are digging it. I think everyone liked that change. And what Josh mentioned is I'm working on a new comic that's got kind of a hip hop vibe to it. It's called Hip Optimus Rhyme, and it's basically giant mechs and kaiju and hip hop together. And I'm going to kind of be going through my process as well as some other stuff that's, there's some other kind of hip hop art that I'm working in. But definitely check out those videos. I've been releasing once a week. And then on my other, that's on Circworks Art Lab. And then on Retro Art Lab, I've been doing a collaboration with Kevin Cross. We're hoping we will have a new video Monday, but we're both scrambling to get this one done. So, but we've been doing a collab over there. So definitely check that out. That's where I reverse engineer old ephemera and collectibles and stuff like that from the 70s, 80s, and 90s and put a weird spin on it. So that's a lot of fun. Other than that, you can go to my website and get my comic book Young and the Dead. It's a kids versus zombie adventure story. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. And so if you're a fan of Goonies, Monster Squad, Stranger Things, E.T., all those kind of old 80s action adventure films where kids were the heroes, it's like that, but with zombies. So definitely check that out.
I love it. And I'm just going to remind people we have super chats open. There's a goal to try to get through 5 super chats. So far, we have not hit that on any episode, but I want to start normalizing that. So hopefully we can get a little support for the channel. And then finally, we're joined by Clio award-winning Chris Kawagiwa. Chris, how you doing, man? And
Good.
Where can people check out your stuff? There's a new site up too that I think we should plug.
I need to make more noise about that for sure. Yeah. But in general, you can find all my stuff at chriskawagiwa.com. I'm an illustrator, storyboard artist, and I guess IP developer. I do comics on the side, and it's kind of the bug is bitten again. So I got excited to chat up Josh again with new projects I'm working on. The 2 things that I'm really working on right now are Pawsmonauts at Pawsmonauts.com and the Sunless Circus. So Pawsmonauts are about secret space heroes from the dawn of the space race. There are all these different animals working together. And still figuring out if I want to make it a toy line or a cartoon or kind of like a augmented reality game type thing. But I think the form that I know I can do is a comic. So that's kind of in progress right now too. And the comic that I started a long time ago, and I only had a handful of issues, but it's still a continuing growing universe, is the Sunless Circus, which is about a robot acrobat that has dreams of running away to become an accountant. And I basically reverse engineered a short 8-page story into, I think I've got maybe 70 something pages now of story. And the 5th issue right now is in the works about a escape artist siblings who run into the robot. But yeah, so that one is at sunlesscircus.com. You can see all the other wacky little things I like to make, like fortune teller, scratch off fortune teller cards and animated little booklets and little toys and little puppet theater things. Yeah, I like to get crafty. So there's a lot of handheld elements to the stories I like to make. And yeah, check them out. Sunlesscircus.com and Pawsmonauts.com.
I'm so excited about that. So Sunless Circus just went up, and you guys should definitely check that out. Sunlesscircus.com. There's a link below, and then Pawsmonauts as well. Pawsmonauts is incredibly good for like all ages. Sunless Circus, I'd say all ages too, but like a little more mature.
Yeah,
not like mature like adult.
A lot more harder to categorize because I'd say like PG. Level violence into like Star Wars type of thing, but it's very hard. It's very like, I didn't design this one with an audience in mind. It was just something that I liked. So it's when it comes from a marketing point of view, it's very hard to categorize, but it's very whimsical, but also gets deep and kind of tragic and also fun. So it's that's just kind of my own little weird baby that I enjoy playing in that universe.
I'm excited about it. You guys should check it out. There's a lot of the kind of extra elements too on the website. So a lot of the kind of interactive, like more like the thing I love about Chris is he's very immersive as an artist, where he'll kind of get into all the ephemera surrounding something. So yeah, you guys should definitely check that out.
Here's an example. Sorry, just a little thing I have. This is kitten rivets. So this is what I do, but it's like the little. There's a coupon. You can actually tear off these coupons and there's little punch card. So the more things you buy at our conventions, you get a punch card. Nobody's held on to these, so I haven't had to figure out what the prize is. But if anybody fills up one of these, I think somebody's gotten 3 things so far, like because they bought 3 things on Etsy or something. But yeah, this is the type of like tickets and stuff I like to add into my comics and things.
So Chris,
artifacts.
I have a question. Yeah. Do you print those yourself and do the perforations and stuff yourself, or do you send those out?
Yeah. So the original ones in the comic, I used to actually use a pounce wheel And I know, Scott, you're familiar with hand doing stuff for sure. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But it was such a pain in the butt. I basically found I think it was Got Print. They actually had a template of this, and so I designed this around this is basically like a business card size, right? So these ones are pre-made. I just like designed it so the thing looks like it fits right onto it. But yeah, now I have like 1,000 of these, so it's much easier than doing.
Yeah, I've done that before with a pounce wheel. But and if anyone doesn't know what a pounce wheel, I know what I used it for. I originally bought it because if you're doing like tracings, you basically you just you go over your drawing, put all these little, like if you're doing a mural, you put all these little holes in your drawing, and then you take this black powder and pat it against the drawing, and it will come through. And so that's kind of what a pounce wheel is. But they've got let me see if I've got mine. They've got better ones now.
I just was thinking of like a naughty wheel, you know.
But you can get them. You can get these things now.
Oh, that's cool.
And they've got all kinds of different. You can get all kinds of different styles and stuff. So I use these for different things.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure Scott and I can compare like our little drawer full of like what tools we have. You know?
Yeah, your wild gizmos.
Yeah, our wacky gizmos.
I think the only comparative.
I just bought this like paper crimper. So if you want to do like the sort of the Yu-Gi-Oh or like the like if you want to do like chip bags or whatever, these kind of this is like this will put like this will crinkle the tops and bottoms of like
nice.
So I got all kinds of crazy tools.
Yeah. It's good for hair crimping as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend putting your hair in that too.
The only reason I even know the term crimping is from Saturday morning cartoons where they'd have like pretty crimp and curl Barbie commercials, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that's what crimping is. What those kids are doing
through toys.
I am excited to kind of find out a little bit about your experience, because I know like the last time we had you on, I think you were nominated, but you were part of a team that and were kind of the lead artist on a Clio winning design and illustration. What was that like? What was it like to get the actual Clio, dude? That's pretty amazing.
Very cool.
And maybe let the audience know what a Clio
is. Yeah, know what that is. Because
I'm
always surprised if anybody have even heard of them. I think it's very industry specific, right? So like Clios do a bunch of things. This is specifically Clio Entertainment. And they're also called Key Art Awards. So Key Art is basically like stuff for packaging, posters, stuff for, stuff that most people have seen for movies, commercials, and things too. I think the biggest claim to fame is Clios were mentioned in Mad Men, because that was something like one of in the fictional world, Don Draper is at the Clio Awards because it's been around for decades. So this most recent one was for the Planet of the Apes experience at San Diego. They needed a poster to give away with their for the people that came in line and waited. So this one was like super fast, which sometimes is to the benefit because they have less time to like noodle over ideas. They're like, we need ideas now. And it was stressful, but they accepted one of the 5 pitches I made, and it was like a monkey's paw print. And the paw print is like images inside embedded into the little, what do you call the little swirls?
Into each of the fingerprint swirls and finger marks and stuff.
Yeah. So it's because I wanted to cover all the Planet of the Apes movies from the 70s up until recently. So there's little hints of the Dr. Zaius, and it's fun.
That's cool.
So that
you
one
even got the classic on his knees going, damn you apes,
you
like
maniacs. So if you look really closely, I think most people might have missed it, but there's Charlton Heston on his knees, and it was very fun to like add Easter eggs like that, because it's like it's hand done, so you could kind of like sneak in stuff because it's very messy and inky. But that one of
I was really impressed with that. Oh my goodness, we're getting one step closer to the goal. Jim said AI is the future of art. Artcasters love it. Yes,
guys,
we're big fans.
You can't let Jim be the only one now.
Right?
Now
he's throwing down.
But no, like the coolest thing about that design to me is, to me, it's kind of rare to see a big award like that go to traditionally inked art. And it was so cool to see that happen. where it's got your illustrations in
it's
there.
pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is part of a team. I was part of Foundry LA.
If you
visit foundry.la, there's longtime coworkers and friends who I worked with at another agency previously, but this one was a lot of fun because it's definitely like a small team, but it's super talented. And my art director Dino helped me because like I got to focus more on the illustration, and then he had to figure out where the word placement and all the stuff that has to go for legal, and then like the studio wants their name here, and what does it say, what's the copy. So it definitely helps to have some really top-notch graphic designers be able to focus on the layout for those things, and the illustration can like really focus on this, and it works in concert to make the thing. So that was very fun.
So Dino's amazing. Little fun fact about Dino, if you don't mind me sharing, Chris. But
sure.
I was hanging out with Chris at a con a while back, and I met Dino for the first time, and I had no idea. Like, he's like the most humble, sweet guy in the world. And after talking to him for about an hour and a half, I find out he did like a design that's so iconic that when Chris and I were going to college for our BFA, all of us were like blown away by this thing, because it's if you guys remember the Princess Bride DVD, where the Princess Bride is spelled to where if you flip the DVD upside down, it still says Princess Bride, like both ways. And so I mean, which won like a crap load of awards, and was definitely on the radar of all of us art students, because it was like in every design magazine. Like
it's cool when you see
one
like
of the best designs of the year. And that's the guy who Chris is working with.
Yeah, so, and that was super early on in his career too. There's like a ton of stuff that people have seen that people just don't know, that these very right behind the scenes individuals have kind of like shaped the things that you see on giant posters on the sides of buildings. So there's gonna be more stuff coming online. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about it at WonderCon or Comic-Con. But it is nice because like most people, especially when you're part of this industry, your focus is to make a good product, not to put your mature name behind stuff, so I think that's like very fun when you find good design or good art that's in a commercial space, because they don't always sometimes they just want a quick and cheap and just like repackage something that already exists, so it is nice when a studio or a franchise wants a refresh that has like some real artistic merit put into it.
So does that mean do you each get an individual award, or is there just one that sits in the
there's a crazy thing. If we want extra copies, they cost extra. So
that's what I thought.
Or my bosses have one, so I think we get to I think I could order an extra. I think it's the same with all awards.
I've heard that, because I remember about my art, one of my instructors that had won an Emmy or something like that, and like I said, and I said, where is it? He says, they're going to make me pay for it. So you got a piece of paper, but the actual award,
you can. It would be nice to have in the background on the shelf or something, but it's like, I think this is a realization where all award shows are like this too. It costs money to even apply, to submit stuff. It costs money to go there. It costs a ton, and then it's this whole kind of like agreed upon thing within the industry that it has value, because it's kind of like by consensus that the people voting are experts, and the people that are selecting these have a taste, and they're saying something.
Well, I would assume it's more than just an agreed upon, because I assume if you win the award like that brings your cachet up and probably gets you more clients. So it does.
Right.
I'm sure there's some residual value that comes
back. It's like winning an Oscar. You know what I mean? Like there's an academy, and and the Emmys, they have their own thing, and no, for sure.
I think the more kind of like long established ones definitely are gonna help a lot, with at least brand recognition and stuff. So that's cool, Chris. Congrats. That was huge. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was really neat to be there. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like this is, I'm gonna do a humble brag. This is actually my second Clio. It's I actually got a silver for the Deadpool children's book, which was a lot more illustration heavy.
That's right.
That one won the silver in 2020. I forget when Deadpool 2 came out, but that one was a labor of love, because it was an entire children's book and watercolored and
with little golden book binding.
Yes, I love it. And that was really really fun to be able to like see it like at Target, you know. Yeah, it was
cool.
Yeah, it was very
That is so cool.
And it's funny because like nerding out just as much as somebody else, you know, like I was just telling some random customer at Target, like, I made this thing. You can take my picture.
I've had that experience a couple times too, Chris. Well, you've seen that, like where, you know, somebody will come up to you wearing your shirt or something, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that's mine, you know, like.
And I'm sure the same thing's gonna happen when you get to see your book, you know, like in a bookstore. I think that's, you know, how much work is going into this. I think just even to see that, like going through it and see the binding of like, oh, that's my name, that's your thing. That's gonna be really satisfying, I think, you know.
It's always fun. I'm trying to keep that vision in mind right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's easy to lose track of that vision when you're 4 years in, you know.
Right. You're almost there though.
Speaking of books,
you
sent me some. Jim said congrats. Yeah, a well-earned congrats too. It's a cool piece. That's the thing I love is seeing stuff in like commercial art that like sneaks through, you know, like I do think that seems like a good thing about the Foundry or whatever. Is it the Foundry? Am I blanking out? Okay, yeah, the Foundry.
Foundry LA.
Yeah, so the thing I like about them is they seem like that's kind of the rule rather than the exception for what they try to do, which is I think really cool that you're able to be a part of that, you know. But it is cool to see stuff like that win industry awards, and especially something as cool as the Clio. So congrats again on number 2.
Thank you.
Thank you. So real quick, so Pawsmonauts, I saw some roughs that you
sent. It was exciting.
So like we were gonna kind of get into the topic of the bug of comics, and because you were like, hey, I got the bug again, and I was like, that's a good topic, let's do that. So how did you get the bug to come back to this madness?
Remember I think even the last time we talked, I was asking a bunch about literary agents and that process. And I didn't have a script per se. I had kind of an outline of like what this first story would be. And I'll let you know, like there was a person that was interested. One person was interested in Pawsmonauts, another one in Sunless Circus. And in trying to, because I don't, you know, I guess I am an author, right? But I fight that all the time, that label, because like I just do the drawings. But I guess I am an author at this point. And so like I was writing the thing out as if I was making a kid's book, and I think I naturally gravitated toward wanting to put panels, like maybe just one panel, you know, like initially it was just going to be a kid's book, right, where I just write a block of text and here's one picture, a block of text, one picture, and then as I'm writing it in words, I just can't help but think of it as layout, right? Like, and it just naturally turns into. Maybe you see that. Yeah, at first it started out as just like an opening scene, as if it's like gravity, you know, like over the earth. Bless you. And then, but then like it naturally in my head, well, because I'm also a storyboard artist, I think in frames, right? I'm like, man, but I want to put 2. So initially, like it was starting to grow into just two frames per page. And then I have to set a limit because I think I was trying to, you know, kind of market it toward more kids. So keeping it kind of like Dogman or Captain Underpants or something where it's comics, but maximum, what do they have, like 3 per page, I think. So like think of I think the graphic picture book, I think might be the label, but I think that's understanding that format exists. I realized that's what I kind of want to gravitate toward, and so my initial outline turned into being basically thumbnailing out, like writing as I'm thumbnailing, and I found it to be surprisingly quick to just like get excited, and I thumbnailed out the first, well, the first story, which is 24 pages. Yeah, initially it was going to be like regular 22-page comic, but it's 24 pages and then some extra stuff. And I'm thinking about like end papers, bookends, and little, you know, interstitial stuff. But
I love it.
There. Yeah, so I think I'm going to use this as a vehicle to, I think I can send just the typed out text and story with these thumbs and then a finished cover, and then let that be my pitch, like let the person know if she's like, are you interested? Because regardless, I'm still going to finish this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to wait for even if she doesn't pick me up as an agent, I still want this to exist. And I know this is something I can do on my own instead of just having like a cartoon pitch. Because I'm not an animator. I have very little experience with it. I've done some, you know, but like this is not something I've done before. And the more I've talked to other professionals, and I've gotten some really amazing advice from trusted people, and they're aware of what I can do, like self-publishing wise. And I think it's worked for me in the past where I can finish this thing and it will be at least a completed story. It's not just an idea, right? I think that's much more of a takeaway. Like you'll actually enjoy this one story, even if the universe is a lot bigger than just this thing. So naturally,
I think that's great too. I mean, think about it. Like, there's so many writers that hire, cartoonists to do a comic as a pitch, right? And so then we're thinking of pitching, and it's like, well, why not do your own comic for pitching a property, right?
Yeah.
Like you have that skill set. You've gotten hired to do that before, so why not do it for yourself?
Right?
That's exciting, but also, what is it about comics that kind of create that bug? Like, Scott, you're starting your second, big property.
I know, which I feel like you just finished this multi-year long Young and the Dead. It's a tome. That was a thick chonker. It's like it was
and
amazing.
That was and so if anyone doesn't, Chris has been there from the beginning, because we were both, and I think Kevin's still in the chat, but Kevin Cross started this thing called the Mini Comics Dump Truck, where he got a bunch of people together and everyone creates one mini comic. And then at the end of that time period that you have to make it, you trade it with everyone else in the group. So you get all these cool mini comics. And Chris was involved in that.
I remember.
But like I think we had to make like an 8-page comic, and like an idiot, I went ahead and made like a full page. 24 pages. And it's got
hand cut hands and die cut.
That was before I had a Cricut. That was before I have a Cricut machine now that I can cut stuff up. So I cut all these things out by hand and stuff. But
you did X-Acto that, right?
Yeah,
that's wild.
But yeah, so that's basically how Young and the Dead started. It all started with that Mini Comics Dump Truck, and how many years ago is that? And I finally finished it. So it's so it's just been something I just work on a little bit here and there. But I don't want to do that for this comic. I really want to be a little more proactive. One of the reasons why I relaunched my channel to focus on comics is because I want to actually build anticipation for this thing as I'm doing it, so that when I do launch it, I'm hoping I can do like the biggest Kickstarter I've ever done, just by building anticipation along the way and everything. So and really make it profitable to do comics, because right now it's the stuff that I do, that like my books, like how to make comics and all that stuff that bring in money, but it's not necessarily the comics. I mean, when you consider how much time you spend on them and everything, and like the digital products about, comic tools and things like that. That's the comic. That's where that's what actually keeps the lights on. It's not necessarily the comic itself, but I want to change that. I want to change all that.
He's kept all of them.
He still has the sweet dump truck minis, and
I've got all mine. Yeah, of course. I'm not
me too.
Yeah,
every single one of those is like it's such a labor of love, and it was such a great motivator. It's like to have a group, like you're not the only one, and there's a deadline, and we're gonna. It was so cool to see like everybody's little inner universe, and you can hold it.
It was neat that everybody handled the mailing and stuff. I don't know, it was just so
everyone did an amazing job. We got some that were Chris also did the die cut, hand die cut.
Mine was just a keyhole. Mine wasn't like a bunch of zombie arms. I thought I was being like, trying to go over and above, and then Scott goes.
But we had people doing screen printed, like glow in the dark, and all kinds of crazy stuff. It was so cool.
I know for mine I did full color, which was a mistake. Because I had like an inkjet printer at the time, and so like it just burnt. Like I did it on like nice paper and full. It was a nightmare. So.
You had to like
print it Paladin just commented on the Knight Rider. Yeah, I've got a bunch of the cars here. I got Ghostbusters and the DeLorean and the Mystery Machine and 18 Band. Some you can't see, but
vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. Chris, I was not, when you talked about jumping from one project to the next, that wasn't my intention. I was going to take a break from comics, but then I came up with this idea, and I'm like, no, I have to do this. So
Yeah, sometimes it's that like momentum, right? Like I
Yeah.
feel because it's so hard because I think we've talked previously before because that other Sunless Circus one, like I think I was noodling a little bit too much, and this one I was able to knock out all the thumbs in less than a week, right? And I think getting that excitement and let that fuel you is pretty
Yeah.
important to try to finish it when you have time. And I think like yeah, it's difficult because there's the stuff that, you know, keeps the lights on, the paying work, and you have to focus on
Yeah.
that when it comes in. But I think I just happen to be at a time where I'm like, I can take some time and get some progress done because I still am excited about the other circus one too.
Yeah.
But I think I have to like, I'll do that once I'm done with this because I feel like this one is kind of transferred. Like the ember has like the flame is in this one right now. And once
Yeah.
I'll finish this, I'll go back to the other one because I definitely am excited to say things, very different things because it's very different in tone and everything. But yeah, that's yeah, I think it's important to run with that momentum when you feel it because it's definitely like something that you need to carry you forward because it's so labor intensive.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is like, you know, your daughter's a little older now.
Mhm.
So you know, you will find like a little bit of time freeing
Yeah.
up
Oh
a
my gosh,
little more than like those first
preschool
few years,
TK
you
is
know.
amazing. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
those teachers are a godsend every time. I'm like, "Oh, thank God, you guys are amazing." Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we all love being around our kids and stuff in those early years. It's really important, but it's like
Mhm.
it is nice as you as a parent, like when they get a little older and that time starts freeing up a little bit, so you can kind of
Mhm.
take on other stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so that's exciting. I think the thing that scares me about the momentum thing is I'm at the end point of this project, like the very end, the last gasps of energy, you know,
Mhm.
and I find my mind just coming up with really stupid ideas that I really want to do when this is done as a 24 pager before I get back to two stories.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid I might actually do them. So the latest one was Duck Cop, which sounds like a bad ripoff of Dog Man,
Mhm.
but basically the gist of it is a duck whose brother is fed bread when you're not supposed to feed the bread to the ducks at the park,
Uh-huh.
and his brother chokes to death on the bread,
Oh, no.
and he swears vengeance on Big Bread and joins the duck police force. And he's like a hard-boiled duck cop who's just like the worst cop in the world. He just shoots people and asks questions later,
Uh-huh.
um, but doesn't speak anything but quacks, and then
But
people just
oh, I
kind of
love it.
interpret what he's
Uh-huh.
saying.
Yeah.
So that's the latest one. But I also had a Victorian Uzi jet ski
Jet
comic that
ski,
I want
yeah.
to do. So I don't know if this is just exhaustion of like working on a really big historical fiction book, but one of those two might actually happen. I don't know, Chris.
I do
I don't
think I
know.
like the duck cop idea just because I think it's so zany, and it's like a release valve
Yeah.
of genre because you've been in this world of super, you know, like Victorian design, very elegant features and historical accuracy
Yeah.
and all those like yeah, ephemera of that time, which I like, but I think like you also, you know, make some good jokes. I feel like that'd be really funny to see.
I think it would
Yeah.
be funny if I commit to it and I make it like a noir, like watercolored Alex Ross kind of thing, but it's
Yeah.
like black and white, you know, moody, shadowy, like, you know, just and ultra violent. I think that's what I want.
I mean, that's
But
how like Ninja
I don't
Turtles
know.
started, right? Like it was not
Yeah.
meant for kids. Like those turtles, they don't hold back just absolutely massacring those foot soldiers in those actual early comics. And it was
Yeah,
just
that
like a
is
funny
true.
idea. Like, you know, like Eastman and Lair just they're just trying to crack each other up, right?
Yeah, I don't think the foot
Yeah, they
soldiers
were pretty much
were
like, remember
robots in the comic
Daredevil? What?
either.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, I said I
What
don't
about
think the foot
robots?
soldiers were robots in the comic. I think
Oh,
they
they
were
were
actual
just human
people.
beings. There was yeah,
Yeah.
there's katana stabs in the really cool like martial arts scenes, but it's not something
Yeah.
you'd hand to the kids and sell toys, you know, at that age.
Yeah. That is
That
wild.
sounds fun.
I love that that premise did start as a bit though, which I think is great. You know, that they just kind of committed to. They were like, okay, we're
Yeah,
cracking each other up. Let's make this happen. That's
yeah.
why, like, I even though I'm joking about it, I take those things kind of seriously because of our experience. Well, you are still currently like kind of experiencing that because you're more active in commercial art than I am nowadays. But it's like um, being in the design space where like a great idea is money, you know, And sometimes your best ideas are just a really stupid joke that just gets you, you know?
Yeah.
And if it gets you cracking up, sometimes that's gold. So it's like,
Yeah.
as silly as it is and stupid as it is, I'm like, that might just be stupid enough for me to have to do.
Right.
So I don't know if that
And
makes sense.
if it cracks you up, I think people kind of underestimate the fact that humor is marketable because it's fun and not everything needs to be,
Yeah.
like very serious and very meditative. There's room for all these things because, people are multifaceted, like it is absolutely necessary to have a good laugh. And it's also kind of what's so human too, it's like something that can't be crowdsourced where there's ways when things get just committed to death, the spirit of it gets watered down because like it's you're appealing to different audiences. But if you're trying to make yourself laugh or your friends laugh, like that's kind of your own taste. And there's fun ways to kind of like reach people who are like-minded in humor like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I think back when we were doing stuff for like Devastator, and I had to do one, and I think it was you, me, and Ralph were just spitballing an idea I had, and it kind of became the like I think the bit was, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, it was like James Bond doing a pitch. So like Q doing a pitch to James Bond and everything he pitches is a junior high science project to Bond. And then the bit at the end is that Bond picks like the volcano
with the baking soda tank. And it somehow saves his life.
Then I think we workshopped it, and then I think it was Ralph or you that were like, hey, we should like there should be something else to it. So we kind of arrived at the end, then it flashes to his kid at the science fair with the James Bond car, like, so it's like got a double.
Wait, did that one go to print?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I don't know if I have that. I have to go through my old issues. It's that was a fun magazine because I did a one where it was my friend Alon Trinidad. He wrote this bit where it's Agra and Yoda on a date. So from the Dark Crystal. Yes. And he's the younger man, right? Because I think she's older than him. Yeah, so it's very funny to like be a part of doing some comics. Yeah, like that.
Those were really fun to work on because there were a lot of people who like are professional comics even now, like that were writing for that. And so like a lot of guys who wrote for like Cracked and The Onion and stuff would write like these short comics. And you get to collaborate with them or pitch against them, which was fun. Like where it's like, here's the theme, and know the guys.
Sorry, you got a little visitor.
All
right, to say hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yes. It's a good also like a product sampling for doing a kids show. Is like I'll show her the different mock-ups and like, who's this? What do you think? What do you want to? What's her name, right? And seeing if she'll get, like which character she gravitates towards. So it's good instant like
nice
marketing, like doing a little bit of audience testing.
One question, Chris, is she at all impressed that you guys can draw? Because like
not at all.
I think not my kid either. Like I think Ben just thinks everybody's parents can draw. Like
I don't think when she when she asks mommy and daddy, like, mommy and daddy can basically draw you anything you want and it's gonna look pretty good. And I don't think I think that's just her, her base level of all parents should be able to do this because it's not special at all.
It's funny. I feel like I don't know. I know that like we had to help Ben like last year with like they made these big dioramas, like a float that had wheels, and then we had to do like paper mache and stuff on it because it was like his project was they were supposed to do like a report and then this like little mini float for a parade of like a different state. And so his state was Hawaii. And so like Maya and I went crazy with it and did these big paper mache like mountains, and we built Hawaii as a map, like a 3D map, and then we had like a hula girl and all this stuff at the top. And it was like
so extra. Oh my gosh.
He was helping us with it, but it was like funny because like then we saw the other floats and we're like, we probably went overboard.
This is ready to go in the Smithsonian. This is
but we were just like, we're gonna make the coolest float.
When you get into it, it's just fun. You get to put to use all the stuff that we like to do anyway, right?
Yeah, I love the idea of like skills testing, like product testing and stuff. I feel like you'd have to product test with other kids than your own though too, because
I know
your own
she's
kid will
been
be
watching
less
like
impressed.
yeah. It's true. Yeah. So I try to diversify it whenever she has cousins over or her playing with other kids, you know, like I'll show her the little stickers. And so far the space hamster seems to be a hit, you know, because I think it's cute and it's why he's like one of the main introductions in the first issue. But
I love that.
Yeah, it's very fun to get immediate feedback, you know, and that helps.
What are you thinking for like the first issue? Are you going to do it as like an introduction or a short story that's kind of all in one?
Yeah, I mean,
like
self-contained first story where, I mean, I'll give away a little bit of the plot, but it's the introduction of the hamster, and the hamster is a stowaway on the spacecraft. And
oh, I love it.
Hamster doesn't talk, kind of like your duck cop here. He just goes quack, so he just squeaks. So it's like an I Am Groot situation where you have to learn what the squeaks mean, and they solve space problems. So there's like a STEM aspect to it, you know, where there's a little bit of like, here's how you have to work around solutions in space, and also there's a social aspect of they're literally a dog and a cat, right? And they have different natures, but they have to work together as a crew. So that's kind of the whole point, where I can introduce different animals with different natures from different countries, but they have to play to their strengths and show the best of, well, not humanity because they're representing their animals, but an example to humanity, right? And I think that's kind of the point of it is each person, no matter how big or small or different, has something to contribute. So it's kind of the thing for overall. It's space for all, right? So that's the tagline.
I love that.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's got a good kind of social message too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that aspect of both the science part, but like living in space is also a social experiment, right? Like you have to have people who aren't going to fight with each other. They have to learn to, you know, get along in a society that they create and be that example too.
Yeah, you want to like try to keep it free from so much space debris that you can never return again, you know.
Right.
So it requires a little bit of collaboration. Hopefully people remember that. You know, hopefully it'll teach them that. That's the important part.
Yeah.
The Gene Roddenberry, like the kind of social comments through science fiction.
Right. I think it's much more it's more digestible. You know, Twilight Zone did this, Star Trek did this, because you can say things about serious topics, especially in a time of lots of division. And you think of when Star Trek came out, oh my gosh, it was the late 60s, you know, like think of how crazy it seemed to have this international crew. Like, I don't think people realize how different of time that is. And so
I was watching a Star Trek recently, and I had forgotten that they have multiple times where they're like, well, we've evolved past currency, and so now we spend time, you know, exploring our galaxy rather than the mundane tasks. And I'm like, oh,
I mean, yeah, that's the optimistic future, right? I think
it really is the best.
There's the optimistic Star Trek future, or kind of the Wall-E future, you know, of humanity. And I feel like we still need to, this is how cheesy optimistic I am, like we still have to show, especially to kids, show that optimistic future. And like we're the creatives, right? We're the ones that hopefully be able to imagine these things. And even if it's something as silly as a kids show, kids grow up to actually become scientists and doctors and people who build societies, right? So I think like if you can do it in a fun, entertaining way and have cute mascots, basically, it's much more palpable than just hitting somebody over with like, here's the lesson, you know. Like I think it's much easier to adjust.
Be as on the nose as like Captain Planet, you know.
Right.
But still can teach a really valuable lesson.
Jim was
asking, that Funny or Die Captain Planet bit is still one of my favorites. That was Funny or Die, I think, right? That had the crazy Captain Planet.
Oh, I don't know.
Where he just starts murdering people. It's so good. He starts like turning people into trees and stuff. It's so crazy.
He's a true eco-terrorist.
Yeah, it's so good.
Jim was asking about a music artist I would choose to score an animated feature, which I will surely want to create.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's some really good. I mean, it's funny because I never really listened to music till much later, like college, basically. So my first music was John Williams' The Empire Strikes Back CD. Was my first CD I ever bought, you know.
Nice.
Which shows what of a soundtrack dork I am, but he's the
Well,
classic.
that's good. I mean, it predates Yub Dub, you know, so like
Yeah,
one movie
right.
before the
Before all
soundtrack
the
that I was cycling through.
But recently, I think like Michael Giacchino is on fire. Like I think he's such a like he's done Spider-Man, he's done Star Wars too, right? For Rogue One, I think. But yeah, he's such a prolific and well-versed guy. That would be really neat. It adds a lot of gravitas, right? But
I do love the idea of Pawsmonauts having a really kind of immense like theme too, because like, you know, kind of doing that the Space Odyssey vibe, you know, with that would be
trying
cool.
to figure out because I'll try to. I like having the sonic atmosphere type thing kind of in the back of my head too, because it helps to define tone, and I think it's very interesting to try to figure out where it fits. And right now, I feel like, have you seen the Carmen Sandiego reboot on Netflix?
Oh no,
I have not.
Really good. It is super classy.
Really?
It looks like the style, the color palettes and style. Remember, what's that guy that was in college? We would see his stuff digital. Tadahiro Usagi.
Oh yeah,
that guy, that type of like super cool, like rough edge, deckled edges. Just look up Carmen Sandiego Netflix. They really upped their game, and it's really cool because I actually got to work on some of the on-service art for that.
Oh nice.
So, like they did a Netflix thing where you choose what she'll do, and so I designed some of the art that's on the thumbnails and the billboards. But
oh dude, that's unrecognizably cool.
That does look
because a lot of the original Carmen Sandiego stuff from like back in the day was not
90s
classy.
Yeah.
Like,
it was 90s Saturday morning cartoon style, right? The Fox Kids things, which was cool. I still watch them, but this one is like
it's on a different level.
Yeah, it fleshes out a backstory, and it's like kind of deep, you know, like there's Vile Island. She was raised by criminals to become this master thief, and now she's going, you know, and there's like she's running away from both the bad guys and the good guys because they think she's a thief. And there's that intro. Oh my god, just watch that intro and it feels like not a kids show. It's like a spy chase thing with like it starts in black and white with just her red coat.
Dude, they made her costume like work.
Yeah,
and
no, it is really so that's kind
crazy.
Of the vibe I think I'm going for. Like it'd be neat to have that level of like kids show, but super watchable for adults. And there's like a lesson, there's geography lessons like in there, but it kind of, it makes sense because it's a globetrotting adventure. So that's kind of my goal, is that type of what do you call, like it's kids but co-viewing friendly, you know.
No, I think that's great. I respect that kind of stuff a lot. I mean, like just thinking about like Ben when he got into Gravity Falls, I was so
that's a good one too. Yes.
I love it. And I was like, this is great. He's like obsessed with it. We like it too. It's really well written.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was kind of fun. I always appreciate that, you know. And you always hope that's the stuff your kid will get into, is stuff,
right? Yeah, the stuff that you wouldn't mind them watching hours and hours of, like, because it's very digestible for adults too. Yeah, Gravity Falls like is super fun because of like the tiny Easter eggs and the little coded things in the book, you know, like, which I'm taking notes because I'm building this whole sort of like a conspiracy idea, you know, like as if this really thing exists in it, and I'm starting to add little like hints to the sort of like in-universe story, you know, and how that could translate too, because I know kids also have fun kind of piecing together puzzles. So I think that's kind of an aspect that I want to get into too.
Yeah, and I think that fits your kind of capabilities too, because like you're very good at building those kind of all the kind of extra ancillary material for like promotion for stuff that like ties into like deep lore,
right?
And so I could see you having a lot of fun with that, and I think when you're having fun with it, like the consumer hopefully will too, you know. Kind of like humor, kind of similar thing, right? Like if you're super into like a cool thing you're making relating to the Pawsmonauts, like a newspaper or lore that's like deep cuts into it, it's just that much, you know, more fun, I think, for the viewer.
You actually have something coming your way, Josh, because you submitted through the website, the Pawsmonauts website. if you
nice
email like to be interested as an early adopter to the Pawsmonauts ground crew, you might get something in the mail. Not exactly this, but this is one of those things. This is part of the secret organization.
Oh, that's cool.
Strategic
I love that
initiative. But Josh, you expect something in the mail incoming because you're one of the early adopters, and some of my friends have already gotten these. But yeah,
I might wear it to my classes, so like the students are like, "What? That's not your ID." Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you'll see what it is. I don't want to spoil it. I want you to. The whole point is that you get something that you experience as like a physical thing. So
that's awesome.
You're part of the test crew of people to receive something in the mail, and that's the whole idea is connecting physically with this online process, but it's also like building concurrently with the story, you know.
And having fun too, which is always like really important. You know, I think well, if people in the chats were like so inclined and they signed up with the crew,
yes,
that might not be a bad idea. If you guys are listening to this, you might
the early
I gotta sign up.
Yeah, there's only like, because it takes a bit to custom make these, so I'm only going to do like a dozen or so. So the first dozen people are and I have this little indicator of how many rockets have already launched. So I think 2 out of the 12 have already launched.
Those early rockets,
yes, early
ladies
rockets.
and gentlemen, get out there.
Yeah. Which is neat too, because like a lot of friends are helping with the newspaper ones where they're taking them all over the world. And so when friends go on vacation, like it's been in, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 countries now too. So like a friend
has it been in Chicago yet?
No, not Chicago. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to Chicago later, so you got to
take a picture. That's the I think
I'm going to Chicago in I think March.
That'd be awesome.
Like a teaching convention thing. So I'll try to get it. Maybe I can get it next to like Quimby's or something. You know.
Yeah,
like
and it can literally be anything. I think the whole point is that you're telling a story by physically bringing it there. Because like I can easily Photoshop this, and you know, and being the digital chat GPT fabricated reality, I wanted to literally have been something that is carried by human hands to a geographic location and took a picture, because I think that's kind of the charm of it. Like it's making
we'll have to do that. We'll get it in Chicago for you.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
I go there in later, so that'll be fun. That's amazing. I love that idea of that like interactive thing. Scott, who was why am I blanking out on the guest we've had multiple times who they do this really immersive, like almost like scouts type thing? They have
Monster Scouts.
Yeah, that's Daniel Davis.
I follow their one of the I really admire their stuff that they've done. And that's really cool.
Yeah,
and Steam Crow does a lot of immersive, like, you know, like, we should reach out to them and try to have them on again.
Yeah, I'm curious. I haven't followed them in a bit, but I'm curious to see how it's been, because I feel like I've definitely followed the really ambitious things. Like they would have camping excursions.
Oh yeah, that's I don't think they're doing Comic Cons anymore. I think they're doing their own events. Wow. And they've got a big enough following that they'll have events like camping trips, and they'll do crafts, and they'll also set up their shop at the events. And I mean, it's really it's amazing what they've built. I mean, yeah,
that's really cool. I'm taking notes. Yeah, that's a type of thing I think where, especially when it's not something that's in reference to something that already exists. You know, because I already I love being able to be a part of those already recognizable brands, but I think like to build your own universe is the most satisfying thing, where other people get excited about it, you know. So I love seeing that, because it's funny enough, I've recently been doing more of that type of thing for higher profile things like experiential design. Like I did a few things for Disney for Imagineering some while back, but
one of my favorites, the Haunted Mansion stuff.
That was really fun.
That I don't know if we could ever really talk about.
Whatever. Yeah, it's fine. It's been years and years. It's out there. If you were
that was amazing. I mean, they had this whole giveaway pack that Chris did like all the art for, and like a ton of the lettering, and just like it's just this beautiful, like cool, like Haunted Mansion vibes thing with like secrets, and it was I don't know if I'm describing it well, Chris.
Yeah. It wasn't free. It was they only sold 999 ever. That's what, so it was very limited edition, and they were like, you get boxes in the mail.
That's so cool.
So the nice thing is like, there's tons of stuff that I can never show people, right? So if you got it, you got it. But it's like, a lot of concepts that I would pitch or were given to me but never used, you know, like I can put it in my thing now, right? Like, and there's a ton of stuff that I was already using, like the animated flip book idea where it's 2 different images, but when you flip through it, it looks like it's moving. Like I was already doing that, and they did that with their tarot cards, so I designed those things too. But most recently, actually, I can talk about it was released for Netflix House. They did a One Piece experience. So I did storyboards for that. Yeah, so that one was very fun because like I actually watched the show. I'm like, this is actually pretty good. You know, like surprisingly.
One Piece is great.
Like, because I know I watched a bit of the anime, but I know there's so much more. But when it comes to translating to live action, there's not that many.
They did a great job.
They did great. Yeah, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like, it's a very
I watched it. Yeah.
And a testament to it, Chris, is May liked it, and she's been a One Piece fan for like ever. Yeah. And so the fact that she liked the live action is, I mean, that speaks well to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also someone like me who never really watched it, but I'm like, oh, I can get this. You know, like that is very hard to be able to like onboard people who had never seen it, and also people who are like already built-in fans who are really into it, you know. So.
Yeah, my kids have been One Piece fans forever, and they tried to get me to watch the anime, and I watch a few of the anime, but it's too big of a commitment for me. So they said they told me that the live action was actually really good, and so I watched it, and it was fun. I loved it.
If you know anybody in Philly, you go to the King of Prussia Mall, the Netflix house. I was invited to go to the Friends and Family intro, but it was during the same week as the Cleos, and so I couldn't go. And so maybe one day, if it's still up, I'd like to visit. But they're only in specific places around the U.S. There's the Philly.
Okay.
We got open one in Las Vegas, and one in Dallas. I think is almost done, maybe. But yeah, it's a very interesting space of like Netflix branching out to the experiential type things where they're doing those kind of like interactive things that are built on their IPs that they have, because there's quite a lot of stuff now. They have Stranger Things, what is it, Squid Game, and Wednesday. Yeah. So they're doing some really fun stuff out there.
They just did what was the one? It's I don't know. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like Yellowstone, I think. It's like a detective who's anyhow. Yeah, they have a lot of really good properties.
Yeah.
That could all build out a lot. That would be really cool. That's cool that you got to work on that.
Yeah, no, I'm working on something cool too, but I hopefully will be able to talk about it later this year. So I think that one is very fun though. It's very cool to be a part of that process. And again, coming back to comics, it's like the opposite of it, because this requires so much overhead and budget and building and planning, and it's really cool when it comes together. But comics are something that you can literally do by yourself, you know. Like you can if you got a pencil and pen and time and dedication, you can build that world. And I think it definitely creates a proof of concept of like beginning to end, you can create something that is self-contained. It doesn't rely on like extra stuff. Like that is the product, you know.
Yeah, like anytime we've had like David on, and actually anyone who works in film, like we've had like Philip, our friend Philip, and Oksana on and stuff on here too.
Oh, you have? Like, I don't think I've seen those episodes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We had Oksana on a couple of years ago. We need to have her back on.
Yeah, she's been doing like those really amazing dolls too. Madame Nexa on Instagram. Super cool.
Just like everything Oksana does, it's like, if somebody was like, oh, I've been getting into making dolls, you'd think like, okay, it's going to be like these 3D printed kind of cheap things, but they kind of cool. And it's like, no, it's like perfection.
These are,
which just reminds me of when we were in school, when we'd all turn in our work. Every time Oksana would turn something in, it just was like, there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
But anyhow, like, and you've worked in like storyboarding and stuff. Anybody I know who's like worked in film, it's kind of like a wonder that anything that requires so many moving cogs actually works.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so many things have to, like, so many departments have to contribute and really be on their game, and then producers have to be willing to fund it, and like. Everybody's got to like do their little magic part, and somehow when it all works, it is kind of a magical thing that's very different than comics, like
the complete which I enjoy being part of that, being a very small cog, but I think like it's very important. I completely understand, like I like being that part, but it's definitely like a giant clockwork train, you know, that everything has to go right. And I think like the more you're a part of it, the more you appreciate when good quality things come out, because at any point so much could have gone wrong, you know. Like I don't think people realize that. And I think it'd be nice. I don't know, fans are, you know, if you're just consuming it as casually as fans, I don't think you're meant to understand that, but I definitely do. Even when something is like not great, you still have to think of, I'm still aware, you know, like of it, there was a writer, there was a director, there's a producer, there's caterers, there's like sound design, there's costume design, there's people who light the things, there's editors, and it's like at each stage it forms this massively complex, unique thing. And so when people like point to like, oh, that director sucks, like you don't have any idea at what point like they could have been in a fight with the producer and the producer could have sucked, you know what I mean? Like that could have had to do with their day,
or
you know?
it
like,
could have been a beautiful thing and then the editor sucked, you know. It's like it all could
so when things are amazing, I think I focus on when things are amazing, like that's an incredible, that's like a little miracle that they are.
Dude,
you know?
Del Toro's Frankenstein is one of the ones I saw recently where I was just like, every part is just refined and perfect and orchestrated, and like everything down to like the lighting design, like everything in it is just so thoughtful, and it makes such a big difference, you know.
And so much of it's like by chance too. Have you heard about like even that last shot where the sun's setting on the icy plains that almost they didn't get, you know? It's like it's just by luck because the sun was going down and the camera wasn't, you know, like so much of it is also just plain luck of being, you know, like in the right place, the right time, and getting it before they ran out of time or budget or whatever. It's like, it's incredible.
That's something I've been trying to get my art. Like I have a bunch of young art students right now, and we're working on watercolor. Like what I'm getting them transitioning to, because we're going to spend the rest of the semester like painting.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get them used to brushes, so I started them with watercolor markers to transition from drawing to painting, right? And now they're doing the applying the water to the watercolor markers, and some of the kids who've never done watercolor are just like freaking out because they're like, oh, I messed it up and stuff, and getting them comfortable with like, no, like that's kind of the medium, like you gotta kind of flow with it. Like mistakes are gonna happen, sometimes they're amazing. Like, you know, like that's half the fun of watercolor is like it's quick, it's very planned out, but also like there are little mistakes, but that's kind of what makes it great.
Like, it's super charming because of that, right? Like you're not looking at a photograph, you're looking at, also because it's transparent, you're always seeing the paper. Like it's not like oil where you can cover up layer over layer. It's like if it's there, it's there. You can try to pick it up with paper as it's wet, but you can totally make it muddy and messed up too. And I remember
if you get too perfectionistic about it and you try to do that with every mistake, it's like you're gonna just blow out the page. Like so it's interesting to try to get kids comfortable with just like, you know, we are trying really hard. We're going to try and make things as good as we can, but also just to be comfortable, like, hey, throw some paint at the wall and see what sticks, you know, like there's a little bit of happy accident in a lot of art. Even like those of us who've been doing it for a while, maybe we find it less, you know, and you have to like almost seek it, like, you know, because like you get the medium down and then you have to like go, well, I'm gonna splatter some stuff here just to like mix it up, you know, like
that just comes from like doing a bunch of stuff, right? Like it's, you can get overly precious about, if you focus about how expensive watercolor paper is versus like copy paper, you know, like you can't think about that. You just have to do a lot, especially if you're doing something like splatter. You're not going to control that splatter goes, but you can tell
that's why it's great.
Yeah, you can tell how quickly, just by the effect of it, is how quickly you swung that brush and how visceral it was, and you capture that moment. That's the whole point of it, is like it's the human mark, which I'm hoping in this day and age people will start to appreciate again, the imperfection of human-made art, because it's one of one, especially if it's like handmade, you know. I think like we can make things look perfect and pretty now by the prompt of a button, you know, like, and it's that's not the point anymore. I don't think it's the point. Like just like how realism, it's always going to have its audience, but I think like realism, like pure photorealistic realism, that's not something that's going to advance art. That's not the whole point of it. Like that's what a camera does, right? And even a camera has its own artistic merits. So I'm curious to see where it's going to go, but I'm optimistic that people will still want something that was made by somebody, because that tells a much better story than just I wrote this out and here it is, you know.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do once I turn in the final page of this is just kind of ask my publisher if they're cool with putting like absolutely no AI was used in the writing or art on this book on the front page, because I know Gary recently did that with the latest DVSM, and I think that's a great idea for us as artists to like start kind of repping the fact, like making it clear like this is not using AI, just like front page, you know, like as a, like right,
I feel
the copyright info.
It feels weird that we're at this place where we have to say that.
Yeah, not a robot.
I'm wondering, like, I don't want that to be the first thing people have to think.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
But I feel like it should be somewhere on the book.
prominent.
That's all I'm saying. I feel like
yeah. I think it needs to be said.
But I'm gonna pitch it to the publisher and see if they even think that's worth it. You know, I don't know. I don't think Turner's published any AI stuff. I know my rep doesn't rep anybody who's using AI, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But
I think in the communication with the potential outreach with the literary reps, like they want to know, you know, like, was AI used in any part of because it is really easy to just tell me to make an outline for a kid's, you know, like it's gonna give you something. But it's, I think especially in publishing, people are aware, and I think more awareness I think awareness has to breed appreciation, but that has to do with the market, right? We'll see what people will do. We don't have much control, but in general, I think people, are forming their opinions about this, and we'll see where it heads.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we end up in a positive, Pawsmonauts future. I think that's where we're gonna head up. Guys, sign up for the Pawsmonauts thing if you are able, because there's only a few slots. So you want to get that free stuff, and check out Pawsmonauts and Sunless Circus.
Yeah, they're all both. I just got their Instagrams too, so they're both on Instagram as well now.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even followed those on Instagram.
Oh, I need to.
I think I'm following Pawsmonauts, but
I think I need to. Yeah, I haven't made enough content. I need to get. This is a reminder to myself, is to kind of like. I think I need to stop making my posts perfect, because I think that is less interesting now. I think people like to see a little bit more of the messy, how things are made process. And I think, like, previously I've just kind of shown, like, I don't know if I'm finished with character design, but I think showing that process is almost that is the product, you know. I think maybe there's a shift toward people wanting to see that, you know. So hopefully.
I'm on the Pawsmonauts website right now. What do I have to do to join up or whatever?
Let's see. I think there's
mission control, database shop, about, contact, mobile, global map, and star chart.
So yeah, there's a little bit of a game built into star chart.
Oh, okay.
But let me see. It's been a little bit. It's been launch, about, shop, contact.
Oh, nice. Critter Paladin said an old friend of mine did some sculpting for the Frankenstein movie. Yeah. Our friend, awesome. We were just talking about our friend Oksana, but like one of our old friends from school did the costume art for the sailors. That whole sequence was that was Oksana art, which is kind of rad. But yeah, that's an amazing, like, that would have been, like, I think Del Toro's there's those directors, you know, that, like, if you're working in film would be a dream to work with. And I think he'd be, like, way up there.
Yeah, no, he's one of my favorites. Yeah, if you go to global map, I think there's a little entry point. You'll see little rockets of, you also see where the newspaper is on a map of where they've yeah. So underneath,
I know Phoenix is on there.
Scott is on the map. Yeah, I think it's great that there's directors like that are appreciated, and he absolutely appreciates the crafted world, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's like you appreciate that people out there are like that, because it's you know, in industry it's really easy to, well, it's not easy, but it's tempting to go the opposite. So people who are kind of sticking to their like not their laurels, but their morals or their drive become more and more rare and appreciated, I think.
Yeah, but it's tough, because it's like you're fighting the lure of efficiency, right?
Yeah.
But when is when's the last time art was appreciated because it was efficient, right? And I think maybe that's not the point of art, is to be as quick as possible. You're trying to explore something which is the struggle of being a human and expressing something, and that's, you lose that, you know. And if you take that away, you better struggle at something else, right? And I think like if that doesn't tell a story, what's the point, right? I think like
100%. Yeah. So like here's the weird thing. We're all kind of, I think clearly, like I obviously haven't finished this big old thing yet, but we're all kind of at the point where we're finishing projects and jumping on a comic yet again. So what is it that's the bug of comics? I mean, you mentioned, Chris, like the fact that, you know, unlike film, right, or other mediums, it is really one of the few mediums where it's completely like I guess like for an author, like you author everything, which is that's a possibility.
Yeah,
where you can do every element and facet of the story. What else is it that kind of brings us back to comics and stuff?
I mean, we can gush about comics all day, right? Like, I mean, I think if you can tell, I love movies too, right? But it's such a different, it's a communal experience with movies because you can reference it and more people have seen it. But if you have comics, I mean, I talked about this for the, we did a panel at WonderCon about physical media and how you can kind of like find out if you and somebody else are going to be buds based on what they have on their shelf, right? Like what movies they decide to buy, like not just stream, because having a Netflix account or even going to their recommended for you doesn't say very, like you can kind of get an idea, but it's not the same as I went somewhere and I bought this DVD or book, comic especially, and decided to put it on my shelf and keep it, you know? And it's such a, if theater and movies are communal, then this is an intimate experience that's personal because you decide, you know, like how fast to read it and what to do with it. And you decide even the flow of it, right? Like, oh, I finished one of another friend's, Paul Pate's.
Oh yeah.
This was
Detective
This
Perez
was a tome, by the way. These were
he's good, 3 of them.
Appreciated how dedicated and crazy of a world. Like I feel like I've done no comics compared to this, you know, like
Paul is amazing. A machine, dude.
No, I think like,
I don't know.
Because I can see in my head how mapped out these characters and even the geography of this place is probably in his head, and he probably had to write it down to figure it out about like, these are these people, these are their motives. And that's like, I don't think people understand how impressive of how many juggling balls there have to be to create even just one of these, you know?
And like really distinct character designs for each character. They're all really recognizable and say something about the personality of the person. He's so good.
No, it's really cool. So like, but when you read something like this, you appreciate each of those choices on a much more direct scale, just like reading a book, right? Like the stuff is, you're being shown some stuff, but there's so much story happening between the pages and between the panels, right? And in movies, you're being shown in an artistic way, you know, every edit, every cut, every directorial cinematographer's DP's shot is like decided what they've shown you, you know? But I think like because of that, it becomes much more of a personal connective experience through comics because it's a book, you know, like as much as it is a book.
I think there is something to be said for that because there's it's a really active process. It's like reading comics requires active
concentration. Like you can't
be a little more passive.
You can't be on your phone, you know, like you're not going to be reading a comic and on your, like that doesn't make any sense. It requires your attention, at least for that little minute to complete, you know?
That's why I have a stack of graphic novels to read when I'm done with this because other than a couple friends pieces, you know, that I've made time to read, like I just, you can't read comics and make them. You know, like
it is really hard.
So I'm excited because I have a whole stack of books I'm going to read when I'm done with this, in theory, if I don't start a new one. But I do love that idea. I think I've always said that's like one of the reasons why I love doing or reading like autobio or like really personal graphic novels is like there's an element to like reading a comic that's like it translates really well to like reading somebody's diary, you know, or like something very confessional and intimate about comics that I don't know if it translates as well in film, that certain media, you know. So like that to me is one thing that always draws me back to comics too, because when I've read a comic that impacted me, it just sticks with me in a way that other stuff just doesn't, you know. But yeah, it's a weird thing to be drawn back to, but I think it would be, yeah, that would be one of them. That's for sure. What about you, Scott? Like, I mean, obviously a big part of it's like you have this cool idea, right, Scott? I don't know. Like what kind
of...
Yeah,
it's also, it's the idea. It's also, you know, trying to do something different than I've done before. Because Young and the Dead had a particular kind of style to it that I want to kind of break from and do something quite a bit different. So that's exciting, and just I'm looking just for experimenting and getting back. Right now I'm just at the process where I've got mostly, I did the cover. I did that actually a while ago, but I'm showing the artwork right now on, you know, on my YouTube channel. But I'm also, you know, coming up with the concepts and everything like that. And pretty soon I'll be, you know, once I get to the point where I'm going to start sketching like some of the characters and things out, I want to share a lot of that process online. So and just kind of, I'm in this space right now where I don't know exactly what it's going to be, as far as I don't know if it's going to be, how long it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be black and white. I don't know if it's going to be color. I don't know if it's going to be a web comic. I don't know if it's just going to go straight to print. So there's just a lot of stuff that I want to figure out, and that's going to be some of the process and kind of what I'm thinking as I do it, that I'll be sharing, you know, on the channel. So.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Gary, and maybe you guys have this too. I think we were talking about it a bit, but because we kind of talked about like after DVSM what he's gonna do, you know. And I wonder if maybe that's part of like when you take on these big epic projects, you know, like big graphic novels. You know, Chris has his like ongoing Sunless Circus that he's been working on for a long time. You know, Scott, you just wrapped Young and the Dead. There's this like kind of weird, like almost mourning process when you finish a big project. It's like weird. I don't know. It's like, it's fun and exhilarating, but there's also this like almost like just terrifying moment of it. And I wonder if part of that is like, for instance, when I'm finished with this book, like when I get home from work, I know the style, I know my layout kind of format. I have everything. All the foundations are there, so I can just hit the ground running, right? But there's something fun and exhilarating, but also terrifying about having to go back to the blue sky moment and set all that up again, lay all that groundwork again, you know? I wonder if maybe that's part of that, like, you know, finishing a crazy creative project, sadness, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but I wonder if that's part, it goes into it a little bit.
I feel like that.
What are your thoughts? I don't know.
I can't speak to this because I don't think I'm an unpublished author, Josh. Unlike you, multiple books out here. I haven't finished.
You're published.
Not the same. You know what I mean? Like I've never had a book that's out there that was entirely my own thing. Not the kind that has a spine, right? So I think Scott can talk about this. Your Young and the Dead was many like years, but I haven't had that. I think I'm still, my bigger thing is I need to make sure I finish this thing that is at least, I never really had an end for it, you know, but I think I want to at least get that one collected edition of 100 pages or so, right? So that's,
well, you're at what, you said you're on 70 something pages?
I think so. I kind of had to like manually count it, you know. But yeah, I think the story I'm working on right now is maybe 30 pages or so. So it's probably going to be around 100 at the end, and it's at a decent stopping point. And I have much bigger, if I want to expand that universe even more, but at least like at a point where I'm like, I could just leave it here too, you know. But I've never had that. I've never had one of your experiences, Josh. You've done it with Jacobs. You've done it with, you know, like 2 stories. Yeah, I don't know what that's like. I've still just mostly been busy with freelance stuff to keep me occupied from my
I feel like you've had it a bit though, because it's like I mean, like even with Sunless Circus, you know, those are self-contained stories too, you know. And so it's like, I don't know. To me, it's just like kind of the transition from that to like Pawsmonauts, you know, where it's a more blue sky kind of thing. I don't know. It's funny. Maybe it isn't the same. I don't know, but I feel like
have the page count. Definitely for sure. Do not have the page count that you have. Or even Paul's here. Like I've seen indie authors, and I know my level. You know,
Paul's up there in that territory of there's just not a lot of people with that page count.
Or like Dave Baker, crazy prolific. Like I don't know when the guy sleeps. You know, like it's.
I think we all look at Dave like, how are you? Yeah, because when he's working on a 600-page graphic novel, he's got like a script for another $500 one floating around. I don't know. The dude is a machine.
Yeah.
He's also really quick, which I always envy. But yeah, the Pawsmonauts thing, I'm so excited about. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be neat to kind of see where that goes. You and Ralph are doing Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, some news. We got a full booth for the first time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've done Artist Alley years back, and Ralph's been doing Artist Alley. I took a break, after having a little kiddo, and we did small press for a bit, which is basically like a bigger full table. But yeah, this year Ralph actually got it applied, and we got a 10x10, so we're gonna split that. So we're doing a lot of battle planning with like how we want to utilize a space in the most popular comic convention in the world. So a lot of things I want to focus and have ready for Pawsmonauts, but maybe some of the Circus stuff too. But the big push is probably going to be for this stuff and having merch and story and like get some.
And those prints have done really well at cons in the past too, which is a really good sign.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole point. It was I took the product that was my own IP. I didn't even consider it IP. I just considered it's a cat astronaut. I just do it because I wanted one. And I went with the thing that was the most popular thing that wasn't a Star Wars or Marvel reference or some other commission thing. And I kind of reverse engineered the story around a cute character, right? So yeah, excited to see what to do. But yeah, we actually have some space. So this is different than having just a table, we actually have, we can we make it a mini store, like, I don't know, Scott, have you done booth size setups?
I've done a couple years, 2 booths, and then, but then I realized that I could actually get just as much real estate by getting I think 3 tables, at least at the con I was at. You could get 3 tables and have more real estate for less than a booth cost.
Because it is a chunk of change. Yeah, it goes from hundreds to thousands immediately, especially with corner premium or whatever. But it's like
Comic-Con for sure too.
That's why we're splitting it. I mean, it is even with got to make sure you have enough merch to even cover that table or the booth fee. Because WonderCon is a toss-up, because this is I messed up my application for the first time in 17 years or so. I don't have a table for sure. I'm on the wait list.
What? And that's that is your con.
I know. That one is like, I'm always there in Artist Alley, and I've never changed from Artist Alley because it is, when it comes to real estate, to foot traffic, to like, this is totally worth it, and it does well. But we'll see. I'm on the wait list. Even if I don't get in, I'm okay, because we applied for a bunch of panels that I can talk on. But also, there's also the San Diego one. So this year, I'll still be busy building stuff. So if I don't get in as a Artist Alley, I'll still just get to hang out and enjoy it as a patron more. So I'm not too worried.
Amazing. But, and then after winter of next year, we're gonna have to keep in touch, because I'm going to be hitting the cons again. So
yes, I've been waiting for it this whole time. It's been years since we did a LA Comic-Con years ago, and that was super fun.
I feel like a bear. I go into hibernation for like, the problem is if I take on another giant book, like, I don't know. So but it's always fun. Like the last time when you guys had me up to do the panel, that was so much fun just to see you guys and hang out after and stuff. I was like,
that was super cool.
Like,
you're like a bear that
and Ralph is good people.
Yeah, also Yeah, it's like a bear. You're like a bear that goes into a cave and comes out with a book that you wrote. Like years
years later. Yeah, like we're all gray haired, and I'm like, look, I have another.
But that's the thing I think we forget to do, though, especially as creators, is that you are also the marketing machine, especially like if you're the one who made it, and that creates. And it's annoying, but I think that's something we have to learn and like be not shy about showing off the thing that you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into, because that interaction with an author artist, this is real. I think that's what you want to be able to do after you've made the thing. And I think like, I think your publisher can only do so much, even if you have a really good one. You know what I mean? Like I think, I think that's the story process. Yeah, that is the story writing again. Like you've written the story of your book, but now you have to write the story of like, here's how I did this, and here's why it's important to me, and being as present as you can during that process is equally important, right?
Well, I feel like we should have you and Ralph on after San Diego, just with like a wrap up. That would be fun. Just to hear how it went for you guys. Because like everyone I know who's done San Diego, just like, I mean, like Lonnie, Lonnie too, I think, Chris, right? Millsap, like he's like he just talks about like the sales numbers from Comic-Con, and it's like astronomical, like compared to any other convention.
It's just the foot traffic.
It's the biggest. I think at least a couple years back, it was the biggest convention in the world. So it's like not just the biggest comic convention, but the biggest convention. So you're gonna get a lot more traffic there than anywhere else.
Although I also
go to that Irish pub that's like a walk away too.
I mean, it's just a fun hang that weekend. I do also want to, however, highlight a little bit of the indie side of it. I have had good results with Bob Baker Day, which is this teeny tiny thing. It's like a marionette theater in LA, and it's a one-day event. But oh my goodness, that amount of traffic. Well, it wasn't even the traffic; it was the fact that the people there were already curated to kind of like the stuff I had. Right, and they were buying. Ironically, I sold more comics there than at Comic-Con or WonderCon, and I think I did better in one day than almost 3 days of Wonder. Which is crazy because WonderCon does well too.
Wow!
So this is like, and it's not always just the foot traffic numbers. Sometimes it's about this kind of funneled audience, and like it's a marionette theater, so clearly my circus robot thing appeals. And then surprising the Pawsmonauts stuff too. Like people were looking for indie stuff. And that demographic, I think, of LA people who have interest in this and have money to spend too. That's a nice thing about like,
That's what I always tell people is if your comic is, the theme of your comic has a particular niche, you're going to do better going to wherever that niche is that you are going to be going to comics, because you'll be the only one there with comics, and people already love the theme of whatever you're doing. So I mean that's proof right there.
Because that happens to me like as a comic fan at Comic-Con, like walking through Artist Alley or even small press, like I'm inundated with stuff and I'm clearly missing stuff that I would love, but it just like, it's because there's too much, right? Like, and you're having to decide. And so sometimes it really is just being in the right space that fits the thing that you have, and that's hard to know until you find it, right? But,
like I was thinking about it. If you had a comic that was like rock star related or something, and it had like a band in it, right? Why wouldn't you do NOM, like the biggest music convention in the world, right? Why would you do a comic convention? You probably sell more music related comics at a music industry event. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do think about things like that. I'm excited about that with this book, because I know that the marketing for it is going to be very angled to people who buy the Browning's work. And so there's a built-in audience of these people who like are fans of like, Robert Browning or Elizabeth Barrett Browning. A lot of our release stuff is going to relate to that. We're thinking about potentially for the release. I don't know. My sister and I have to talk to a couple people. I know a couple people who work at the Magic Castle, so
that'd be cool.
I want to try.
Oh, dude!
I don't think it could happen.
Have you been there?
So cool.
Have you guys been there?
Castle somewhere to do a seance release would be fun. because it has to do with seances. So maybe
it's exactly what it is. That's
contact
the audience. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I mean, they do have a gift shop, don't they? I feel like they don't, or maybe they don't. Maybe because it's like an exclusive club.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I've never been, and like I need to hit up my buddy. Anyhow,
just to take pictures, just to bring it and take pictures there is cool enough.
I don't think they let you. They won't let you. You can, because I went on my birthday one year because my ex-girlfriend's uncle was a magician.
You got to know a magician, right?
Yeah, they got me in. So you can. There's a little. You can go in like the sitting room and take pictures there, but once you're in, you can't take any pictures.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they do it. They might make some kind of, I don't know if they make some kind of exception, because I think there's things online where they do a tour, but so if there's some kind of they might make some kind of exceptions for certain media events or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Generally, it's like a ask only kind of invitation type thing, but it's like I don't know if we'll be able to do the Magic Castle, but I do know I could probably have my magician buddy maybe help us organize some kind of seance and maybe even conduct it, which would be fun.
Did you know, I went to the Queen Mary had a seance thing my wife and I did. It was really cool. Yeah.
Queen Mary events are amazing, dude. Their Halloween thing was like one of the most like terrifying, amazing things I've ever seen. Like when we were in college, when they
haunted ship, so it's like, how else are you gonna? You can't. I mean, I like my Knott's Berry Farm stuff, but that's not a haunted like ghost ship type with built-in lore, like with literal.
Yeah, and they had that whole pool part that had like some kind of hologram or something. Like,
did they?
That's so creepy, and I don't know. Like it just was. I don't know. They decorated the interior, the parts where you're going down into the ship, and like. Parts of it felt like you were like walking into like the innards of a beast or something. It was just awful and terrifying and wonderful.
Yeah.
But I love the Queen Mary. Just there's something spooky about being on there anyway.
It is, yeah. The gray ghost.
And then they have a lot of lore, like the cook who got cooked. Did you hear that one?
There's a bunch of deaths in there. The guy got crushed between the pressure valve thing in the boiler room, and
and some of these I don't know if they're true or if they're just part of the tour.
Well, there's it's like documented stuff though, because it was like used during World War II to transport, and it did have an accident. Like
that's the World War II chef story. Is like there was a cook when it was being used for military use, and he was cooking bad food, and they got so mad at him that they threw him in the oven.
That one I don't remember. That feels like a little bit like
that sounds like haunted lore, but it was fun. And it's like at the part where you're in the, if you're on the Halloween tour, at least they used to tell you that one while you're in the kitchen next to the oven, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's creepy. And all the pool deaths and stuff they talk about. But I think there's probably real deaths as well.
No, there were that one. For sure, because there was an infirmary, the people literally died on there. But there's also accidents when it's like the ship would pitch forward and somebody like fell forward and like off the stairs and hit their head and died. But before she died, she said, "Who pushed me?" But nobody was there. Like it's
so good.
That type of stuff. Like there's some the stuff that fits perfectly with your story, right? Like the type of vibes. But I'm super excited. I want to help you find this audience, because I am this audience that loves your story already, and I can't wait to read it. It's so exciting.
Yeah, it's really fun. We'll get there. I can't wait to read Pawsmonauts, because I think it'll be cool, and I think Ben would really dig it too. So, before he ages out of it, you got to get it out. Because he's gonna be a teenager next year.
That's nuts, man. I thought you were a little tiny little kid. No, it's teenager.
Yeah. Well, next year he'll be early teens, which is scary.
Yeah, you gotta
yeah. But the thing that I've realized from teaching like high schoolers is most high schoolers are kids. Like they're just tiny little kids, at heart, who sometimes get grumpy. But but a lot of them still love cartoons, still love stickers, still love all the fun stuff that we all really still love.
I still like it. We'll find our audience.
Yeah. But I can't. I really am. I'm so excited that you're kind of working on this. I hope Comic-Con goes awesome. That sounds amazing. Let's see. Scott, is there anything we didn't touch on? Because we're at about an hour and 30. So do you feel like anything we wanted to?
Yeah, anytime somebody's talking about, well, I mean, you're saying you're getting the comic bug or whatever, but obviously you've been working on. I mean, you've got 70 some odd pages already done. So
I mean, but over like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like that's
yeah.
You know how long Young Adult took. You had to like piecemeal it.
Yeah, exactly.
At this point, I feel like I don't want to take another year to make this. I want to, like, get this wrapped up this season. So watching other people do this and make their own thing, watching Gary finishes, like this, watching people like, and Josh, you're almost done with your thing. Like, I think it's always inspiring to see like you can do it. Anybody can just ride that wave. And
I feel like that's the trick though. Like, we've talked about that a lot on here. It's like, I'm glad you brought up like the Detective Perez thing too, because I got a jolt of inspiration from just like how much like those books were just like, he just commits and gets them done. And then seeing on top of that, like, I don't know, Paul had told me, like, I think it was like Jacobs or something, he read that and that helped him decide to do another Detective Perez.
That's awesome.
And it's like, and then it's funny because it's like, I feel like Gary and I have talked about it too, where it's like anytime he puts something out, we're all kind of inspiring each other. And I feel the same way whenever I see you post stuff too. So like, I feel like, making creative friends, like you mentioned Ralph too. Ralph's a really inspiring guy, always working on some big thing.
He's making a game right now too, by the way. The little teaser. He hasn't shared anything yet, but he's super ambitious stuff. He's made cartoons, but also like
Bubbaloo.
There's a whole thing it's really cool. Like, he's really loved it.
Is the game Bubbaloo related, or is
it
different?
That's the cool thing.
It's his own
characters, his own. That's the impressive thing, is when people are like multifaceted with like, I don't know anything about coding or websites, like it's very cool to see people put together things that are on their own.
Also one of those guys who just figures stuff out. Like, I could see Ralph like taking apart a car engine and rebuilding it. Like, he's just one of those guys like who can figure it out. But I feel like those creatives like that we surround ourselves with end up being like the fuel to kind of get through this kind of thing. Because I was kind of losing steam, and then the new DVSM came out, and I was like, okay, I gotta throw down, because like that's too good to not be participating in. And I got the same fuel from like when we did the Crestline meetup, which we got to see if we can get you in on, Chris. But
is that what is it called, the cabin thing?
Yeah, we all go out to a cabin.
It sounded really cool. I watched the little hangout, the multi-camera thing. That's neat.
It's so much fun. But like, one of the things that was great about that was like the whole time we were there, Scott's like doing this like, most of us hadn't really heard Scott's. I had heard like teasers of what Scott wanted to do, but that's where like the first time where he like started kind of talking about some possible story points, and we're seeing this like awesome like cover for Hip Optimus Rhyme, and I'm like, I get so pumped for it, and it's like stuff like that where you get fuel, like from or seeing like Keith kind of work out like story problems, and then before you know it, he's putting out books. It's like, I don't know. I think maybe that's part of getting the comic bug too, is like, it's kind of like letting it's possible, I don't know if that makes sense. That's happened probably throughout our whole career, right? Where it's like careers, but it's like where you'll like be like, I don't know if I can do that, and then you get like a friend who's like gets a big client, you're like, wait, you can you can do that,
people, right? I think
because it's like, if you can do that, I could probably do that. We're kind of close, like we're kind of similar, so it's like it's cool. I don't know. So
especially like if somebody has a day job like you do, Josh, it's like you still find time to do the thing at the end of it, and it doesn't have to be a full-time thing, where very few people are able to do that, right? Like, and then because it's such a gamble that it's even gonna make back, like what you invested into it. But I think it's like still worth it. And I think it's like, especially for younger people, like understanding that this is still possible in different ways to get to the goal. I think it's important to me.
Yeah, I try to tell my students, like, Adrian Tomine started Optic Nerve in high school, like,
it's nuts.
and they were good. Like, early Optic Nerves are some of my favorites, and they're like real sloppy.
Yeah, which is funny because like I had so little. Like, I still think of my college assignments, and I didn't have anything to say. Like you already had a style, I could tell. At the time, it since each person kind of comes to their like what their artistic voices, right? And I feel like I had decent skills, but I didn't, when it came to philosophy of like, this is what I want to say about the world, like I was not confident about it at all. And how would I be? I had very little life experience, and I feel a little bit more confident in like, here's what I think, here's the thing I want to say.
That's the best part about getting older, is like, I think the confidence grows, and like the kind of knowing who you are. Like, you really, I don't know, like at the place we're at, I feel like, at least, I don't know, I'm kind of at the like not giving two F's if somebody doesn't like me kind of point in my life, where I want to be nice to people and I like people and stuff, but I know who I am. I know my flaws. I know my strength. I know what I'm trying to work on, that kind of stuff. But I'm not like sitting around second guessing, like, is this that good?
Right.
Whereas I remember, Chris, when you and I were both like, I think when we were both developing, I think trying our hand at comics, it's like there's a lot of self-doubt and just like second guessing, and like maybe even just a lot of overthinking,
Definitely that. Yeah, for sure.
And so it's a good place to be. But then again, like, we're all kind of in a conundrum of like, these things take years to make. So like, I don't know. It's if somebody can get that bug early, get it, like that, or and don't second guess. Like, if you're younger as an artist, man, like you're at a perfect time. If you're older as an artist, you're at a perfect time. I don't know.
If you're older, then you have life experience. You have things you've gone through, like that you can talk about.
And you got some resources, right? Like, a lot of people don't realize that, but it's like right now I have more resources than I ever had as a young, like 20 something, like who couldn't even afford a car, like now it's like I have all these resources that allow me to actually be able to commit to like, this is my time where I do this thing. And so like, why wouldn't we take advantage of that?
It's funny. The more you do it, the more it exercises that brain. So Scott, you recently did a video about finding your artistic voice.
Yeah.
I made a short comic. I mean, it was just literally ink on paper. I think I might organize it into something because it's based on that idea about somebody trying to find their style. I'll share it with you in a little bit later, because it's
okay.
Like it just struck me like within minutes. I'm like, I just want to make a comic. Here's this guy trying to find a tool, and he's like, but yeah, when that inspiration strikes, and it was in between this other thing, and I wanted it to like it's not supposed to be a book or anything. It's such a useful format to say a complex idea within boxes, like to animate this would take so long. I don't know how Jim does it, but it's like comics are just like storyboards, where I'm like, well, this is what happens, but yeah, it was very, I'll have to share with you, because something as simple as a YouTube video can inspire this, like, I just want to draw this out real quick, and I think it's fun to just kind of like see where it goes real fast.
I do too. I think I think the funnest part of comics is like, and this is the part I wish I had gotten when I was younger, is like, your idea doesn't have to be like, again, I am always an advocate for, if you have a Lord of the Rings story you want to tell, do it now and start making pages. Don't wait for it to be perfect and overwork it. But on the same note, if you have an idea that feels kind of dumb, but it's interesting to you, like, make it. Like, there's no reason, like, I wasn't kidding about the cop duck thing. Like, I might actually
I literally do want to see that. Yeah, I do want to see
I do too. And I might make a Victorian, Uzi welding, like, action, like basically Miami Vice in Victorian England kind of thing. Who knows? But like, the thing that I love about making, and I think Scott's experienced this too, is like, when he's making Young and the Dead, that's when these seeds of this other thing just start kind of blooming. And I do think the muse works that way, where it pays you back when you are doing the work. It rewards you tenfold with like more inspiration than you can handle, for like a million things you want to do. And I think as long as you keep that pipeline open, and as corny as it is, like I've been reading Bernardo Kastrup a lot lately, and he talks about serving the daemon, which is like the daemon is not a demon. It's like it's like the muse.
AE, yeah.
But it is kind of weird when you open that gateway and you're kind of serving that thing. Like it does guide you in where you're going to go next. But it doesn't show up unless you like dedicate to it. And so it's like, it's kind of cool, that gateway unlocking. Like, I'm really enjoying this moment of potential. I'm excited about getting to where Scott's at, where that potential is starting to get realized, by like, okay, Scott has committed to one potential and like is now kind of in that blue sky. Okay, how do we organize this? What does it look like? Like, that's the most fun stage of, I think, any project, is the stage Scott's at. And then Chris, you're doing that with Pawsmonauts too, where you've kind of committed to one, and like now you're kind of like, okay, we're going to tell this story about this hamster character, and you're building it out, and that's the funnest place to be.
It is. Yeah. Go through.
I can't wait to get back to that. You know, it's really exciting. But I think I will need some kind of quick win before I get into 2 stories with 2, and also something fun.
Yeah,
before I get into
that's the thing with like individual small projects, like say one image. It's one image, right? And it's out there, and I think you need to have those little tiny positive reinforcement things, because long comics are such a long slog. It's, even if somebody loves it, you won't even know if they love it till how much of a delay of satisfaction can you hold? And that's where it helps to have.
The other thing is, I love floppy comics. Like I love them, and I've only really made one. You know, like, so like I've made a bunch of, like, I've made a couple graphic novels, but I've only really made like one floppy. And so like I want to kind of experience a quick win and a succinct story that's real tight.
It's also fun because you can just hand them out to somebody, and it doesn't, because it's, when you hand somebody a graphic novel, they don't, that's actually asking them to read the whole thing too, which is a lot. It's like watching because this happens with movies too. People are often asked, like, how long is the movie though? Is it 2 hours? You know, it's like, it's even if it's amazing, it's a giant meal, right? And sometimes people just want to get a taste and like a snack. And if you like Numb, you'll probably like 2 stories. You know what I mean? Like, have something at your table that is for the low attention span reader, because that's a lot of people who they won't get what you're about until they read the little first thing. And I think why even big publishers will have the issue number 1 for like $1, because they know they need the little hook, you know? So I think it's smart to have.
I love it. If I do Cop Duck, I'll get Ben in on it as a consultant for sure.
It'll be super fun.
I told him the premise, and he was like, "It sounds like Dogman." And then I was like, "But he's gonna like kill people, and it's gonna." He's like, "Okay, I'm in."
Did I tell you about the 24-hour comic that Ralph and some friends we made? It was an axe to grind, which is about a lumberjack who becomes a lumberjack.
So good.
A tree falls on his parents and kills him, so he hates all trees, and he just and it has a time travel element. It was very fun. But that type of joy to make.
Chris, I think I told you this story when I used to work at a said education company that you might know. I pranked the art director, who we both know, of said education company. We were doing like flashcards kind of things where it's like, L is for lumberjack, right? And it was like a guy cutting a tree, but I did the whole thing, and then I rendered it really realistically, the tree just bleeding, just spraying blood all over and I turned it in, which I'm like, oh my gosh, my art director must have hated me, but I turned it in.
You have to at least have gotten a laugh out of it, right? Come on.
Oh yeah, massive laughter. It was hilarious.
That's fun.
But that reminds me of that. But that lumberjack comic is pretty classic. Ralph's humor is really funny. If you guys haven't checked out Ralph
Miranda,
Man Fighting Street.
Ralphius.
Yes.
But look up Oh Bubbaloo on YouTube. They're fun animated cartoons. But
yeah, my favorite character is this villainous owl. He's hilarious to me. He's so funny. It's yeah, it's worth checking out. The reading book club. But yeah, I love it. Well, Chris, where can everybody find your stuff? Give like the quick pitch of Sunless. Circus has a great quick pitch line, and then also Pawsmonauts, and then send people to those sites, and obviously chriskawagiwa.com. Where can people go, and what are your books about, your stories?
Well, I think I already covered the Sunless Circus. And Pawsmonauts, I think I've been talking about these. I think I'll just show a picture.
Yeah.
These are some of the characters. They're different.
So
there's two extra animals that have just joined. The Irish sheepdog and Filipino carabao. Inspired by it's the fun thing is where I'm asking a lot of my friends, from different countries or cultural influences, like what animal do you think fits? And the Irish sheepdog was from Irish guys I met in Las Vegas, like, what do you think, right? And then it's fun to come up with little stories where they fit in. And the carabao is Filipino, and he's like, he loves karaoke, so it's fun to like. And that's named after Dino's brother, Rico. So it's
I love it.
It's fun to have. And he was helping because he took my newspaper to like Italy and stuff. So I'm like, dude, you're helping me out. So yeah, it's very fun to have that audience interaction of people get to kind of vote and tell me, like this is also a learning opportunity for me to like learn different cultural things. But yeah,
beautiful. I know that you at some point are going to need a hippopotamus, and if you do, I want to have some kind of reference to me in there because it's my favorite animal.
All right, yeah, we'll work it in there. Yeah, I have to work
an elephant.
I realized initially I thought it more like Paw Patrol, but it's more like Zootopia, I think, right? Where there's that type of human anthropomorphizedness. So there's all sorts of fun opportunities for aquatic and avian animals and how they interact. So yeah.
Did you know Spears worked on that? Like Jeremy
Spears.
Oh,
I saw the little plunger. Yeah, Jeremy Spears. He was posting. Yeah, he helped with the plumber walrus guy. Yeah, he's always been like, even in school you could tell like, oh, this guy's good. Yeah. So,
yeah, no, like that was one of our classmates who went on to work for like Pixar and Disney, and we all were all like, yeah, I mean that makes sense, because everything he did looked like the previs work for
amazing
Pixar
story.
Disney, but yeah, it does have like some Zootopia vibes to it, I do like that you're not anthropomorphizing like in like it's like humans with animal heads. I'm glad you didn't do that. I'm glad you're kind of doing the sophisticated.
It's a little bit of the animal nature, right? It's very fun to lean into that. It's like, it's because certain animals like Mickey Mouse is not a mouse. He's a human that happens to. He has like a dog. He has a house, probably a mortgage. It's very fun to play with this space. So
I love it. All right, so check out Pawsmonauts, check out Sunless Circus, check out chriskawagiwa.com. You're on my channel, so if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications. Thank you guys in the chat. It's been fun. Thanks, Chris, for showing up. And then Scott, where can people go to check out some latest videos about comics? About like one of them is very motivational that just came out, which I think is really good. And good for people to hear, especially if you're out there kind of going, I don't know, maybe I should work on I don't know if I should make this thing. And then also, where can they get comics, wax packs, all this wild stuff? And then how do they keep track of all this stuff? I just asked you like 10 questions. Answer them all.
Well, try to answer them real quick. So the art advice and inspiration for comic creators, you can go to Circworks Art Labs on YouTube. And I've got a lot of motivational videos and kind of showing off my art while I'm doing it and everything. You can find that out there if you're a comic creator. Also, I have a Retro Art Lab YouTube channel where you can check out me reverse engineering old ephemera and collectibles and things like that, and doing awesome collaborations with Kevin Cross over there. Retro Art Lab on YouTube. You can go to my website where you can pick up my comic book Young and the Dead Kids vs. Zombie Adventure Story, as well as my wax pack trading cards, all kinds of cool stuff over there at circworks.com. And beyond that, this show we do every single week, the Artcasters, but it does go back and forth between Josh's channel and my own. So if you want to know exactly when we're going to go live, who the guest is going to be, what channel it's going to be on, the best way to do that is to join our mailing list. There's probably a link in the description here. You can click on to do that. We don't spam you or anything. All we do is send out a notification before we're about to go live, because YouTube doesn't always notify people. So go ahead and do that. And I want to thank everyone in the chat. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
I love it. Yeah. Make sure you guys sign up. It's a mailing list. Check out Chris's stuff. Support indie comics. Pick up some copies of comics of indies. You know, we mentioned a lot of people, you know, like Paul and DVSM and Young and the Dead, all this stuff. Support indie comics, but pick up one of those books for maybe a friend if you bought one. Like, get it for a present. All right, guys. We will see you on the next live stream. We appreciate you guys. You guys are the community that kind of keeps us pumped about this thing we're doing. And we will see you guys next week. Goodbye. Oh, also stay tuned. Episode 500 for 2 away. Okay, bye.
I'm watching that for sure. Yeah, it's awesome.